Hey guys, I'm Arden Kaywin. Welcome to the Pro Singer Success Collective. Today, we're going to be talking about an exercise for big results in your singing in 2024. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry everything, Happy almost New Year. And I wanted to come in here and talk today about how we can get some huge results in your singing career for the coming year in 2024. So, we're coming to the end of this year. We're coming to the end of 2023. And as most of us do, I feel reflective. And you've got this one talent, you've got this one life, this one precious life, and only so much time here on this planet. I mean, gosh, if COVID taught us anything going through all of that, it's that we are not guaranteed a tomorrow. So you've got this one life, you've got this one gift, and you've only got so much time in this life on this planet. And so it's making me reflective, like coming to the end of the year. How are you spending it? How are you spending it? And so this is a question that I revisit every time I complete a year in review. And so a year in review is something that I do at the end of every year to just reflect on my learnings, my challenges, the gifts, the things that I've been through, the things that I've accomplished. And so it's so important, guys, to look back and celebrate your wins, your accomplishments, your growth, and extract the lessons so that you can set the right targets for your singing and your career in the year to come. And so here we are. It's December, coming to the end of 2023. It's coming to a close, and we're about to enter a whole new year. And I don't know about you, but a lot has happened this year. So much. Incredible things, hard things, things that my 2010 self would absolutely lose her mind over. And there's a quote that I like. It just comes to mind when I think about this, which is that people overestimate what can be done in a month, but they dramatically underestimate what can be done in a year. And so today you're going to discover just how true this statement really is. And so in honor of this new year approaching, I'm sharing with you this special year in review exercise, courtesy of one of my favorite business coaches, Marie Forleo. Some of you may know her. So this exercise, it's a 3-part exercise that uses all of that untapped wisdom of your last year to make the next year your best ever. And so I've tweaked it a bit so that you can focus more on those things that are related to your singing and your singing career and your artistic journey. And so each section is pretty short. It's pretty easy to execute. You can complete them all in one sitting if you'd like, or you can take your time and do one per day. But think of these exercises as a planning tool for the year to come. So you've got a new year full of possibilities coming your way, full of possibilities in your singing, in the career that's ahead of you. And so with this year in review exercise, it's going to really help you to make the most out of it. So let's dive in. I'm going to walk you through. So grab a journal, grab a pen, pause the video if you need to go get that. Grab a journal and a pen, or grab your computer, something to write with. And I want you to follow these journaling prompts that I'm going to give you. Okay, so the first section is what you are proud of. So think about it. Over the past year, what have you done that you are proud of in your singing life, in your artistic journey? What are those things, those wins, the things that you really want to honor? What are you proud of? So you're going to journal on that. So pause this and journal on it. Now, next thing, what are the obstacles that you've overcome in your singing journey, in your artistic journey? Write those down. So first is what you're proud of. Then what are the obstacles that you have overcome, the challenges that you've gotten past? And now, third thing in this section of proud and honoring, what are some of the results that you've created in your singing career in 2022? So think about your performances, your auditions, your recordings, opportunities you've created or taken advantage of, income that you've brought in. What are the results that you've created in your career in 2022? And I want you to list them out here. Okay, so you're going to pull out old calendars, journals, planners, maybe emails, photos to jog your memory. This may take some time, but it's worth it. So do this first section, pause the video, do it, then come back. Now we're going to talk about the next section, which is what was most important and why. So once you're done, you're going to go back over that list that you just created of what you're proud of, your wins, your results, the challenges you overcame. And then you're going to answer these next questions. The first question is, out of everything that you listed, what was most important? Circle whatever jumps out to you. What were the most important, either results, wins, challenges you overcame? Circle the most important. And then I want you to write down why. Why is that the most important? Because when you know the things that have made the biggest difference in your singing and in your artistic journey and the career that you're building, you'll be able to make such better and so much more wise decisions as you plan the next year of your career. So that is what I want you to go do now. Pause the video and circle what was most important and write out why. Okay, so now you've done that. Now we're going to talk about your learnings. So this is the second section, learnings. So I want you to think about and write down what are the most important things that you have learned over the last year with respect to your singing, your career, and your artistic journey. The most important things you've learned, write it down. And then you're going to write down from those learnings what wisdom has become crystal clear to you. So you're going to garner that wisdom from the learnings. And then the third part of this is, what mistakes did you make and what did you learn from them? So in this section about learnings, what are the most important things that you've learned over the last year with respect to your singing and your career and your journey? What wisdom has become clear to you through that? And what mistakes did you make and what did you learn from them? So think this through, write this all down, big and small. Pause the video here and do that. Okay, so now that you've done that, I want you to look at the list that you have created, and then we're going to talk about what was most important and why. So you're going to look at the list you just created and ask these questions. First, which lessons were the biggest game changers for you? The ones that really caused shift and transformation, ahas, new awarenesses. What lessons were the biggest game changers for you? And then, why do those matter to you? Write that down. Why do those matter to you? And then once you've gotten clarity on that, the third question, what do you really want to remember as you move through into this brand new year? So from those challenges, from those learnings, from those big game changers, what do you really want to remember and take with you as you move into 2024? So this section, guys, this is crucial. I want you to review it often so that you avoid making the same mistakes. Because if we just keep doing the same things, we're just going to keep getting the same results. So getting super clear on the wins, the wisdom, the learnings, the lessons, what was most important, why, and then looking at that throughout this coming year is going to keep you in that awareness so you don't keep doing the same things that are keeping you stuck and you avoid making the same mistakes over and over again, okay? Now, we're going to go into part 2 of year in review now. So first part was all about getting clarity and reflecting. Now we're going to talk about the second part of this, which is releasing your past. So part 2 is all about letting go of the things that drag you down so you can plan the next year with a clear, purposeful mind. And trust me, you're going to feel so much lighter and freer when you are done with this. So get out your journal, keep going with the computer if that's what you're doing, and follow these questions. So I want you to ask yourself what you're willing to let go of. And so here are some questions and things to think about that. You're going to create 3 separate lists under this section. And this is going to take time, but it's so worth it, guys. Okay, so first section has to do with old projects and goals. So Are there any projects that you keep meaning to do, but you just haven't made time for? Write them down. What do you keep meaning to do, but it keeps getting backburnered? You just haven't been able to carve out the time. Second question, do you have any I should do this type goals that you keep putting off? I should go on a diet. I should, whatever. But with respect to your singing, I should practice piano more. I should get a voice teacher, whatever it is. Okay. So what are the shoulds, those type of targets that you keep putting off? Write those down. Now, third question, I should say. Are there any expectations from family members, loved ones, or even from yourself that just aren't true in your heart anymore, right? Any expectations that maybe others are holding of you, or expectations that you're holding of you that just don't feel aligned anymore. So that could be something like, let's say you have been through a whole ton of traditional classical training. Let's say you're an opera singer and your parents invested in that and you put 4 years into undergrad in that and 2 more years into graduate school in that. And the expectation is that you're going to go be a classical singer. And that's the expectation that you've held. That's the expectation that your family has held, that they've invested in. But let's say that doesn't feel true in your heart anymore. And you really want to record a record, right? So that's the kind of thing that I would say here. Any expectations that just don't feel true in your heart anymore. And so, this section, guys, exploring old goals and projects and letting go of things. Like old goals and projects are kind of like leftovers in the fridge. Food that you kept because you meant to eat it, but it's just not good anymore. And it's just taking up valuable space. So this list is an opportunity to clean out your mental fridge so that you can rock 2024 without those moldy shoulds and moldy expectations cluttering your heart and your mind and your energy. So answer those questions. Pause the video here to do it. When you come back, now we're going to talk about resentments, anger, upsets. So are there any resentments or upsets that you have been hanging on to? Any upsets, any resentments, old traumas that you just keep holding on to, whether you want to or not, that just keep taking up a real estate in your mind and in your energy? Write them down. And guys, to do this, pause the video, write it down, then come back, okay? Next exploration in this. Do you have any old emotional baggage that you are just ready to release? Whether it's having to do with things in your singing or even not. Old relationships, old, even could be like old failures, things that you've been carrying with you that you're ready to release. Write it down. And then third question in this section, is there anybody that you need to forgive, including yourself? So that could be the old voice teacher who told you you'd never be able to sing high. It could be, the person in your life who stood by you and invested in you, and then who got, angry and shamed because you weren't actually taking the actions you need to and held your feet to the fire, and you got pissed off and you told them off even though they were right. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. Okay. So is there anybody you need to forgive? And that includes yourself. Have you been hard on yourself? Have you been shoulding all over yourself? Have you not been accountable to your dreams? Have you not been taking action when you know that there are things that are important to you? So do you need to forgive yourself for maybe not showing up as powerfully as you could have? And be honest. Write it down. Even if you don't know how to forgive or let this go in the moment, just write it down. As long as you're willing, you'll figure out a way. So naming it and acknowledging it is the first step towards healing these things and releasing these things that keep us stuck. Now, let's move into the next section. And again, pause and write when you need to. Let's talk about limiting beliefs and crappy old stories, okay? First question here. What limiting beliefs have you been carrying for the past year when it comes to your singing, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your artistic journey? That could be things like, I'm too old. That could be things like nobody would ever want to listen to what I have to say on stage. That could be like, um, I don't have enough time to really get what I need in order to move forward in my singing. What limiting beliefs have you been carrying that are holding you back, that you notice over the last year? And further to that, second part, what excuses have you been attaching to that are holding you back from singing your best and making the impact with your voice at the level you want? Those are things like, I don't have enough money to get voice lessons. I'm going to call poo-poo BS on that. If your dream and your purpose is to, on this planet, is to be a singer and share your gifts, and you have technical problems that are stopping you from doing that, then I don't have enough money is just an excuse. There's always an excuse for those who are not committed, and there's always a way for those who are. So what do you need to do to have what you want? And what excuses are you giving yourself? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I'm too tall. I'm too old. I'm not good enough. I'm, whatever it is, the excuses that have been stopping you from taking action to get what you want. So what are those excuses that have been holding you back that you notice over the last year? And further to that, the third part of this are what old stories, crappy old stories, are you telling yourself about all of that which no longer serve you? What are the stories? The stories as to why you're not where you are, or why you're not where you want to be. The stories about, whose fault it is, right? That's a story. That's a blame game, right? The story that, if I just had the right promotion, my record would be huge. That's a story. You know how I know that? Because if the record didn't get several thousands of plays to begin with, then you're just putting promotional dollars behind a record that's not going to make an impact, and it won't matter how much money you spend on promotion. That's a story, right? So what are the crappy stories you're telling yourself to justify where you are that no longer serve you? And here's another example. Maybe you've been telling yourself, like we were talking about a minute ago, that you're too old to follow this passion. Or maybe you're done believing the story that it's all been said or done before, right? Maybe there's a story, an old crappy story that, like, I'm not going to sit down and write songs because all the songs that are the great songs have already been written. And how could I possibly compete? How could I possibly write a song that anybody would want to hear? That's a story. So maybe you're done believing that one. Or maybe it's time to just put all those crappy stories to bed, that you're not good enough, that you're not capable enough. Like, let's put those to rest once and for all. But you got to air them out. You got to see what they are first. Because remember, you guys, you're so much more powerful and capable than you give yourself credit for. Every single one of you. And so this is your opportunity to let go of all those sabotaging thoughts, limiting beliefs, and old stories that are holding you back from getting what you want, and being able to walk into 2024 in a way that you can get what you need and have what you want with your singing, your career, and your journey. So do this work now, guys, so that all this stuff doesn't control you next year. So in this progression of letting go, we got to understand what is most important to let go of and why. So once you're done with these prior 3 sections that we just went through, go back over each subsection and answer these 4 questions. And by the way, guys, everything that I'm telling you here, there's going to be a link to a PDF in the post copy that you can find, so you can have this all written out, okay? But I want you to do it with me so that you can get my coaching around this with you. So you're going to go back over from these subsections: resentments and anger, old projects and goals, limiting beliefs, and crappy stories, okay? And I want you to answer these 4 questions about each section. What are the most important things of everything you've listed? What are the most important things to let go of, and circle them now? Choose 1 or 2. Keep it simple. And then answer this question and write it down. Why is it vital that you let go of this now? And do that for each of the things that you circled. Why is it vital to let go of this now? What are the consequences if you don't? What have these goals and resentments and fears or limiting beliefs cost you over the last year? And probably not just year. If you've had them for the last year, you've probably had them for the last decade. Just saying. So what have they cost you by hanging on to them? And are there any experiences or achievements that you have not experienced as a result of holding on to these? What have you lost? What have you not been able to create? What are the things that you haven't done or experienced, or results, or the realization of the career and the voice that you want? What are you missing out on as a result of holding on to all of this? And so write as much as you want. Pause this. Do it now. Remember, purpose fuels persistent. It's really hard to be persistent when you're not connected to your purpose. So that is the second part of this, is the letting go of all the things that don't serve. Now, the last part is creating your plan for 2024. So now that you've laid the groundwork, you're clear on what was working, what wasn't working, what you need to let go of. Now it's time for the fun part, figuring out what's next. So get ready to fire up that imagination and tap into your heart, because this last part, this third part, is where you will create a plan for your next year of your singing and your creative journey. So you know what to do. Grab something to write with, keep open a new document on the computer, and here's what we're going to talk about. The first is, what's next? What do I want in the future? What do you want to create, experience, or achieve over the next year in terms of your vocal technique, your performances, your creative artistry, your career outcomes, your income, your recordings, if that applies to you, your auditions, if that applies to you? These are the sections that I want you to, you can go back and pause the video, write these things down, okay? Think about how you want to be more powerful and the results that you want to create, the things that you want to experience over the next year in these categories: your technique, your performances, your artistry, your outcomes, your income, recordings, auditions, okay? And then I want you to write down how you want to feel about these things. That's super important, okay? Do you want to experience more consistency, more freedom, more confidence, more trust? How else do you want to feel when you sing, when you perform? When you look at your calendar and see what you're up to, write it down. You guys, you cannot hit a target that you haven't set. Did you hear that? You have to get this. You cannot set a target, you cannot hit a target that you have not set. So this entire exercise is getting you really clear on the target. So write this down, and how you want to feel is a huge part of this target. I want to feel confident. I want to feel free. I want my voice to feel reliable. I want to feel like I trust myself in my journey. Write it down. The goal here is to be as specific and as concrete as possible. So envision the best possible year of your life with your singing, and let yourself really dream and really live into it and really hone that vision. Feel into it. Not just what do I want to do, but how do I want to feel? And don't underestimate what you can achieve, okay? Think big. What do you want? How do you want to feel? And how's it going to feel when it arrives, okay? So once you're done, I want you to go back over all of your lists, and then I want you to answer these questions. And you can pause it. You can do it here. You can refer back to the PDF that we're going to give you. Here are the questions. Looking at everything globally that you just got all this clarity on, okay? Number one, what are the 3 most important targets that you want to focus on over the next 3 months in the first quarter of 2024? Okay, so given the larger goals, given everything you want to create, what are the 3 most important things that you need to be focusing on in this first quarter of 2024 coming up? And I want you to circle that now, or write that down now, okay? And then I want you to write down, why are these first targets important to you? Why are they essential? And then, even more importantly, who do you need to become in order to bring each of these goals to life? Meaning, what character traits, what habits, what skills do you need to develop in order to accomplish these goals? So you might say, I need to be fearless. I need to be consistent and accountable. That might be, right? That's who I need to be. in order to accomplish this? And then what skills do I need to develop this? So if you're noticing that one of the big goals is for you to release a record, but you don't like the way your voice sounds, then you're going to need to invest in some training. You need better technical skills. If your goal is to be able to book an equity show, your first Broadway show, and you just crap out when it comes to auditions and you get all in your head, then you need better skills in your mindset to show up to auditions, right? So what skills do you need to support the results that you want to get and create for 2024? Now, the next piece is so important. What action steps do you need to take to support yourself in developing these new habits and traits and skills? If you're not an expert in mindset work and you're having problems being able to get out of your own way on auditions, then you need somebody who's going to help you do that. Because if you could have fixed that for yourself, you wouldn't be in the position you're in now. Okay? So be really honest with yourself, not out of a place of blame and shame, but out of a place of wanting to expand and grow and have these targets be so proudly met when you do this exercise again next year. Okay, so what action steps do you need to take? Might be finding a vocal coach, might be getting into an audition workshop, might be, whatever the thing is. Okay, and so you're going to do this exercise each quarter, every 3 months, and it's going to help you break down all of these dreams and targets out from this 1-year plan, 1 quarter at a time. And so I always say, guys, if you want a different result, then you got to be willing to do things differently. So allow this exercise to show you what's been working, what's not been working. So you have the clarity on what needs your attention, what areas need your attention, and what areas need a different strategy if you're going to get different results and really thrive in 2024. Because you guys, like I said at the beginning, a year may seem like a really long time, but it can also go by in a heartbeat. And so if doing this exercise has brought up some difficult emotions because you're looking at this and you really don't feel that you are any closer to your dreams, your targets, your goals than you did this time last year in 2022, just bring some compassion to yourself around it. That's why you're doing this. So see this for the opportunity that it is. And to do this year differently, right? This is an opportunity for you to do this next year differently with wisdom and with intention this time. So now that you've got the tactical targets and the vision and the emotional home that you want to create written down, you're going to do one finally very fun, imaginative exercise to tap you into this wisdom inside of you, in your heart. Okay, so imagine yourself a year into the future, and I want you to start writing a letter to your current day self from that self in the future. Okay, so self at the end of next year, at the end of 2024, is writing you a letter to your current self today. And it can start something like this. Dear Arden, I would love for you to know that, and then let your hand move and write whatever comes to your mind. Don't judge it. Don't edit it. Don't pay any attention to grammar, spelling, punctuation. It doesn't matter. Trust me, you've got so much natural knowing and wisdom inside of you. So, dear Arden, I'd love for you to know that, and then tell your now self from your future self who's had all those learnings and amazing results what you want her to know. Okay? And if you get stuck, here's some prompts that you can experiment with. I'd love for you to start XYZ. I'd love for you to remember XYZ. I'd love for you to focus on XYZ. I'd love for you to get help with XYZ. And so I know this might sound like a little weird, a little woo-woo, but it's powerful stuff, guys. It helps you to access deep truths that you know intuitively, but that you'll be really glad that you activated and brought to the surface and articulated right now before this whole next year passes. And so when you've completed all 3 parts of this series, you're going to have a really invaluable treasure map of personal wisdom that's going to help you to make this next year of your singing career more productive, more joyful, and more meaningful. because your time matters, guys. Time is the only non-renewable resource that we are all given. And so by doing this reflective work, you're setting yourself up to have the best year ever and not waste any more time. Keep going. Honor that wisdom within you. It's what will guide you into your best singing, into your best career, and into your best life. So I've got this year in review as a PDF that I'm going to put in the post copy. So I want you to take some me time over the next days. A lot of you are going to be off work soon, right? Grab your journal, maybe a hot cocoa, maybe your favorite cozy wintertime beverage, cozy bathrobe, sweater, whatever. Just give yourself half an hour to an hour of me time from the craziness of the family stuff and the holidays and all the stuff going on to do the most important thing that's going to set you up for success the next year, and examine what you've accomplished and what you want moving into 2024. And so on a personal note, as you do this powerful exercise, if you're realizing that you've been accepting way too many excuses over the last year, engaging with way too many limiting beliefs, buying into too many fears and BS and expectations that aren't serving you and keeping you stuck, and you can see how all of this has prevented you from blooming into your talent and your voice and your career at the level that you really want, I want you to know it is not too late to shift. It's not. If after looking at your patterns from the last year, you realize that your way is not working, and that after a year of doing it, another year, it's probably been 5, 10, 20 for some of you, but after another year of doing it the only way that you know how, and you're still not at the level you want with your voice, you're still not at the level you want with your singing career, and you're ready for a proven system and the support that will give you a whole new set of tools and a whole new foundation to build success upon, then I want you to book a call with me. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for another year to go by? Are you waiting for another year of birthdays celebrated with that hesitation that it's like a whole nother year has gone by and you're still at your crappy day job instead of singing full time for a living? Are you waiting for a whole nother year of major self-doubt that your latest EP release had the same lackluster results, very few spins, plays, etc., as the last one, and nothing has changed? Another year of crippling nerves that are sabotaging your auditions or performances and preventing you from singing the way you know you can. You want another year of dread of being asked, how's the music going? And that immediate feeling of failure when you literally don't have anything to say. You don't got any appointments. You don't got any gigs on the books. You just literally crickets. It's the worst when somebody asks you that and you have nothing to say for yourself. You want another year of watching other singers who you know are just as talented as you get the gigs instead of you, and the frustration of having no idea why, and wondering if it will ever be your turn as you can feel the clock ticking, ticking, ticking. And another year, here we are coming to the end of the year. You want another year of New Year's resolutions? That this year is going to be different. This year, I'm finally going to make it. This year is going to be different. And then looking back at the last year and recognizing that nothing had changed. Okay? I've got news for you guys. And I say this because I care, not to be harsh, but nothing will be different until you are, and until you decide to do things differently. So what are you waiting for? Another year of thinking about it? Another decade to pass while you're still trying to figure it out? You've been doing that. And if you're not getting the results that you want in your singing, then it is time to empty your cup and fill it with a new strategy. Life is way too short to waste any more time. Look how fast this last year went. So reach out, book a call with me. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to discuss what's working and what's not working in your singing, get clarity on what you want, where you want to go, and what's been preventing you from getting there. And if I think that we can help you, then I will 100% let you know. And if not, I will steer you to something better that I think can. So bottom line is this, guys. Do not waste another year, or God forbid, another decade. Book a call with me. I'll put the link. If you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be right in the end card at the end of this video. If you're watching on Facebook, it's going to be in the post copy in the chat. book a call with me. Don't waste another year. Let's get you moving into 2024 with a strategy and with a support that works. Sending you a ton of love for an incredible holiday, a very, very happy, healthy new year, and I will see you on the next collective. Bye. Mwah. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to subscribe, click the link right over there that says subscribe. And if you want to book a breakthrough session with me, which you absolutely should do, then click the link right over here that says book a call to schedule an appointment to speak with us. I'll see you on the next episode.